Hi class. So we're going to go ahead and use this question to construct an amortization table. So the question is, for Maria's birthday, Rico buys her a new car. He purchases a $38,500 car and makes a 10% down payment. He finances the rest for 6 years at an APR of 4.2%. Create an amortization table for the life of this loan. So we can go ahead and start filling out this information, right? We know that the APR is 4.2%. Make sure there's a percent sign there. Since we're making monthly payments, we're going to say N is 12. The loan's going to be for 6 years, so Y is 6. Our P is supposed to be the loan amount. Well, the car's worth $38,500, but that's not how much of a loan Rico's taking out, because he's putting 10% down. So down here, let's figure out what 10% of the 38,500 is. Okay. So that is $38.50. That means that he is paying $38.50. So he's only financing the rest of it. Okay. So his loan amount is actually going to be the original $38,500 minus his down payment. So he's only really taking a loan out for $34,650. That's what will go for P. Now that we have our information, we can go ahead and use our PMT function, which is going to be our APR divided by our N, comma, our N times our Y, comma, negative P. So the monthly payment that Rico will have to make is $545.27. So let's go ahead and start building our table. So first of all, you see payment number. This means like after the first month, that's the first payment, second month, second payment, and so on. We want to figure out how many payments he's going to make. So we'll go over here to the number of payments. Well, Rico is making 12 payments a year for 6 years. So if we multiply them together, we get the total number of payments of 72. So he should have 72 payments. So we're going to go ahead and list 1 through 72 here. Might as well use the Excel feature to drag down so that you have 72. So there's all 72 payments. And the monthly payment is going to be $545.27. This is super important to make sure you are not cell referencing here, because the number that's actually in this payment box is an exact number. And if you were to move the decimal over, you're going to see it's not actually 27 cents. It's more than that. We can't pay a fraction of a penny, so we're going to make sure it's an exact number, and it's 27 cents and not that 26.88, whatever that might be. I'm going to do it in both of these rows so that I can highlight both of them, and Excel knows that since they're both the same, when I drag it down, all of the payments should be the same. And of course, he's making monthly payments, so they should all be the same. I'm going to put our initial loan balance up here, so $34,650. That's just to kind of help us, right after 0 payments, essentially. That's the balance, which is why I kind of have this black bar here, just to make sure that I am not putting this balance after month 1, because right here is the balance after month 1. And of course, he's going to have a payment after that. So the interest paid, Rico is going to be paying the interest on whatever his current loan balance is. That's how the interest works. But he's only paying the monthly interest rate. We have the annual percentage rate, which is what APR stands for. That's 4.2% a year. So to figure out the percent per month, we can take our current APR and divide it by 12 to get 0.35%. Now that's just rounded. If we go, so sometimes it ends up being something other than 0. In this case, it happened to be perfectly 0.35%. but that's the percent he has to pay. So in the first month, he's got to pay 0.35% of his current loan balance. Every month, he's going to be paying a new amount of interest because, of course, his balance is getting smaller. Okay, so his interest being paid should be small. So we're just going to leave it like that right now. We will have to anchor some things, but you'll see in a second why we would have to anchor it. So we'll wait till we do the whole row. So this 121.28 means that out of the $545.27 that Rico pays in month one, $121.28 of it is paid in interest, which means the rest of it is paid towards the principal. So to figure out how much is paid towards the principal, we're just going to take the $545.27 and subtract the interest paid, because that will give us what's left over. So in month one, $424 was paid from the principal. The amount paid towards the principal is what kind of makes your loan balance get smaller. So $121 was the interest. So only our new loan balance is going to be our old loan balance minus what you paid towards the principal, and that's it. You're not subtracting your monthly payment. You're only subtracting the amount you paid actually towards your principal. So we're going to take our loan balance minus our principal and get our new loan balance. So after the first month, this is the new amount of money that Rico still owes on the loan. Now we're going to do the same thing for the next row, but let's use the drag feature. So let's think about this first one. In month two, we're still going to want to take 0.35%, but we're now going to want to take it of that $34,226.01. So the 0.35% is going to stay the same throughout this whole thing. The only thing that's different is going to be that new loan balance. So since that 0.35% is what needs to be the same for all of these, we're going to anchor that down. For the principal paid, we're always going to want the monthly payment minus the new interest, so we don't need anything anchored there. Same thing with the loan balance. So only that percentage needs to be anchored down. Now you can actually highlight all three and just go ahead and drag down all the way to 72. So what we've done is we've just actually filled out our amortization table. We're not finished. You might have seen that at the end, but at least for now, we've kind of created our table. And you can see that each month, since our loan balance is getting smaller, you're paying less and less towards the interest and more towards the principal. Now, if we head down to the bottom, you might have noticed that this says that we have overpaid by 9 cents. Okay, that's what my computer shows it in red and in parentheses. Yours might show it in a different way. But it's saying we actually paid 9 cents too much. Well, that makes sense because this 545.27 was a rounded version of the actual number. So it makes sense this isn't going to be perfect. So to account for that, your last payment, you just can pay 9 cents less than that. So I'm going to do that off to the side. So instead of 545.27, we get to pay, or Rico gets to pay 9 cents less than that. So he only has to pay 545.18 that month. So we're going to manually change the last payment because he has to have it paid in 72 months. He can't take 73 months. We're going to manually change that last payment so that Rico now owes $0 after 72 months. So again, we had to manually change that to reflect a balance of 0. If your balance was 9 cents in the positive, that means you owe 9 more cents, and your last payment, you would just have to pay 9 more cents. So it depends if you've overpaid or underpaid. Whether this number will be higher for the 72nd month or lower for the 72nd month. Now that we've found that information, we have completed our amortization table. So this is a completed table. And you can see over the lifetime of the loan what Rico's balance is at every single point, and how much he's paying towards interest every month, and how much he's paying towards the principal every month. There are ways you can figure out how much total interest he's paid. You can actually just add up the interest column if you want to by saying sum of all of this. So if you add up all of this interest, you can actually figure out how much interest he's paid. So he's paid $4609.35 in interest. If you add up your principal, you should add up to be $34,650 because that's how much is going towards your principal. So there's no need to add that column up. But you could also you see how much money he's spending in total by summing up this column. Right? If he's making 72 payments at this monthly payment, he's going to pay a total of $39,259.35. You can see if you subtract these two, you should get the principal. This is just another way you could figure out the interest that he has to pay and how much he pays in total. But remember, you can always do it here as well, right? If he spends $545.27 for 72 months, you can get that same number here. So you don't necessarily have to use the table to find that. And to figure out the interest, you can always just take that number and subtract your 34,650. And again, that should be the same number that you get in the interest paid column. So those are just two ways you can use the table to figure out how much money that Rico ends up paying in total and how much money he ends up paying on the loan or in interest.